wonder she never called back. You saw the message she wrote me, low-key, you want your whole back. I get respect from the OGs, police probably want my phone tapped.
Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is OVO Phantuums, and welcome back to a brand new Modern Warfare Remastered video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you guys are excited for the weekend. I figured I'd drop this video in time for the weekend. I get asked this question a lot about what classes you use on Shipment and stuff like that, so I figured I'd finally make a class setup video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First class here, I have my Shipment MP5, which is the MP5 with red dot. I actually alternated through my first 8 prestiges for the MP5 between red dot sight and no attachment. But after I use both of them, I highly suggest using red dot. Although the recoil on the MP5 is pretty bad, but my MP5 is my weapon of choice. I absolutely love the MP5. Sidearm is my .44 Magnum, stun grenade, bandolier, stopping power, and martyrdom. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to get mad at the fact that I use martyrdom, but the reason why I don't use deep impact, because a lot of you guys are going to say deep impact or steady aim. I actually do have class with steady aim that I use a lot. The reason why I don't use deep impact on my subs is because I don't really shoot through walls, to be completely honest with you. I run around a lot, so that's the reason why I use martyrdom. And when you play a try-hard 6-man, you get a lot of kills with martyrdom, so that's the reason why I use it. Next up is what people prefer most over the 74 or over the MP5 is the AK-74U. Obviously with no attachment, because the 74U is the best with no attachment. Desert Eagle, I do alternate between the Desert Eagle and the Magnum. You're going to see this throughout my classes. I like both of them the same. Stun grenade, bandolier, stopping power, and martyrdom as well. Basically the same class, but it's just the 74U and the Desert Eagle, the only things that change. Bandolier and stopping power are going to be run throughout the majority of these classes, just to keep in mind. Next up is my RPD. I actually do not use the RPD on Shipment at all. I find people who use the RPD on Shipment, I find them really annoying, and I don't want to be that guy that's super annoying. Although I do use martyrdom, so I do understand the argument, but I just hate getting killed by our RPD, so I don't really use it. But I run a Desert Eagle, a stun grenade, I run grip on my RPD, so there's no attachment in the first selection, stopping power, and deep impact. And I also have a sickle, but that doesn't really matter. My second RPD class is basically the same. The only difference is I run sleight of hand. So this would be a class I would use if I was, you know, sitting on C flag shooting through a wall. But like I said, I don't really like to do that too much, so I kind of stay away from the RPD on Shipment. Next up is my my Shipment steady aim class. So it's my SMG with steady aim as opposed to martyrdom. Same thing throughout: Desert Eagle, sidearm, stun, bandolier, stopping power, and steady aim. And just keep in mind, if you guys are a run and gun player on Shipment, I highly suggest that you use steady aim. I started using steady aim because one of my friends named Cystic TKO, this guy drops a crazy amount of kills running around, and he uses steady aim. And I started using steady aim, and it's absolutely godlike on Shipment. So if you guys are a run and gun player, I highly suggest running a sub with steady aim. Next up is my Shipment AR. I actually only run one AR on Shipment. It's the XM-LAR, which this gun is absolutely insane. If you guys haven't used the XM-LAR, I'm assuming most of you guys have because it's been out for a while, I highly suggest using this gun. This gun's really good, especially for Shipment. Sidearm is my .44 Magnum, and I actually run flashes on my AR classes, bandolier, stopping power, and I do run deep impact on the XM-LAR, or XM-LAR, my apologies. Next up is my Shipment shotgun. This is personally my favorite class. I actually made a video on this where I dropped like a 3 KD on Shipment running around with this. So I do run grip on it, so I won't have a first attachment. Sidearm is my Desert Eagle. I don't know why I said steady aim there. Stun grenade, no attachment, Juggernaut, and steady aim. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me for using Juggernaut, and I don't condone Juggernaut, but the only time Juggernaut is acceptable, in my personal opinion, is when you use a shotgun. So that's the reason why I use Juggernaut on the shotgun, and steady aim, of course, for those hipfire kills. And that's my favorite class out of all my classes, that W1200. I actually think I have Red Tiger for it. Yeah, I do. So that is definitely my favorite shotgun to use, favorite class to use on Shipment. Next up is another LMG class. So this basically is just a class. This is the class I kind of use for another LMG to complete my camo challenges. And this is the M2 Saw. I run the M2 Saw. I run it with grip, but right now I was doing a challenge for no attachment, so I'm actually going to put grip back on it. So I run the M2 Saw with grip, sidearms, a Magnum, stun grenade, stopping power, deep impact. Obviously no first perk because of grip. Next up is our Shipment P90, which I actually do not use this class a lot. I learned that the MP5 and the 74U are a lot better than the P90. The P90 gets way too many hit markers, especially with the silencer, and I don't like running it with no attachments, so this is definitely the least used submachine gun, obviously, other than the Scorpion and Mini Uzi. I run it with a Desert Eagle as a sidearm, steady aim, Bandolier, Stopping Power, and Martyrdom. Now, honestly, if I use the P90 again, I'd probably use Steady Aim, but right now I would run Martyrdom on this class. Next up, last but not least, is the class that you use when you play a bunch of sweats who are trying to 6-man cap flags, and this is called my Sonic Boom class. So I run the MP5 with Red Dot, Desert Eagle Sidearm, Stun Grenade, RPG ×2, Sonic Boom, and Martyrdom. I know this is the biggest douchebag class to use on Shipment, but if you play a lot of Shipment and you play a really sweaty 6-man and they're trying to cap flags, honestly, they're going to probably run frag ×3 in RPGs, so you might as well make a class just in case. This is the reason why I made this class, just in case people try to do it to me. I made a class that was kind of the same thing to, you know, fight fire with fire, so to say. So this is my douchebag class, I guess you could say, with Sonic Boom and RPG. So those are my classes that I use for Shipment. My most used class out of all these I use through my level 1000 is the Shipment MP5 with Bandolier, Stopping Power, and Martyrdom, my MP5 Red Dot sight. So those are my classes for Shipment. I hope this helped you guys a little bit. If you have any questions about any of the classes, feel free to pause the video on any of them. And I thank you guys so much for the support lately. I really appreciate it. We are on our way to 6K subs, which is crazy. If you guys have not subscribed and you like Modern Warfare Remastered content, make sure to subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for the love. I hope to see you next video. Peace.